What's up, Bay County? This is Alex with the 850 podcast. It's such a special day. We have Wesley Best and his wonderful mother, Jeanette Best, in the building. We have real estate, we have charities, we have new books, and all kinds of fun stuff coming out. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. I'm Wesley Best, president of A Hand Up International, also a realtor here locally with Think Real Estate.
Awesome. Miss Jeanette?
Jeanette Best, founder and CEO of A Hand Up. I'm also just published, and my new book just got released, True Stories of Faith, Healing, and Miracles. I am currently working on my second book and already have the title for my third.
Okay, come on, girl. How proud are you of this guy?
Oh, I'm biased, but most people that know him, he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Very genuine. There was a period of about 10 years where I was a single mom of 3 little boys, and he was the oldest, and he was his 2 younger brothers' hero.
That's right.
Because he was just great, and I'm telling you, this kid is nearly what?
Don't tell him.
Okay. But to this day, he has never, ever disrespected me.
That's awesome.
And even when I was a single mom, and that just speaks volume, especially this day and age. And so I'm just really proud of him, proud of his wife, his daughter, and all that he does for A Hand Up and for the family. And so many. He has like 16 godkids.
Yes. That's awesome.
And he's been there to help families, and so I'm really, really proud of him. He's just a genuinely good guy.
Are you getting emotional a bit?
And he is my firstborn. So.
Aw, that's so sweet. So I have to ask, you guys run A Hand Up, which is an amazing local organization that feeds families all over Bacon. What is it, like, how many a month now?
We feed thousands of people every month.
Wow.
Every month, yes.
What was the starting point? Like, what moment did you guys together or individually say, like, this is what we're going to do? This is the game plan? Or did it kind of like form itself?
Well, 2 short stories. The first story is that I was a single mom of 3 young boys, Wesley and his 2 younger brothers. I found myself in between work and did not have any food to feed my children. I shared that with a close friend of mine that came over to visit, and it was very hard for me to share that.
Yeah.
But I did. And she said, well, when my husband comes back to pick me up, I will talk to him. We will do something. So her husband came back to pick her up, and she walked outside, and then he walked back in with her. He asked us to join him in the center floor for prayer. So my sons and I and his wife, we joined hands in a circle in the center floor for prayer. And he prayed for us, and then he left. No bread, no peanut butter, no jelly.
Sometimes prayer is the only thing you need because there's power in it, and it is the bread and all the things.
And it's always awesome, but in that case, it was not, because I had 3 little boys looking up at me, and so I stood in the middle of the floor, and I just didn't know what to do. But my mom was a woman of faith, and I just said, I just trust you.
Yeah.
So his little brother came in and said, well, I'm hungry. And I said, well, just go back and play. We'll have something. And the Lord sent this little lady, this little bit over 4 feet tall little lady named Miss Paul.
She was about my height.
Something like that. I didn't want to say it, but anyway. And she had went to Publix and bought her entire meal, and it was just her. And she said she was sitting there, and she literally heard, take this food over to Jeanette and those boys. And she knocked on the door, and she brought us a full meal. And it just moved something in me. And I just purposed from that moment, I knew no matter how bad our circumstances were going to be, in that moment they were, it would not always be that way.
That's
that
right.
With faith and hard work and dedication, it will change.
Wow.
And I just purpose in that moment that when it does, and I'm on the other side of this, I will not just emulate what people did for me that was good, but I will do for other people what people did not do for me. And so I purposed that in my heart. Fast forward a couple of years later, I've married a great man, my husband now of over 20 years. You'll see Best.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. He's awesome. And and he helped me to be able to do the things that were in my heart. And we were only married about a year and a half before we had a house fire.
Oh no.
And people say you lost everything, but I always say we didn't lose everything. We lost all our things.
Yeah.
Because we were all alive, we were all well. And so sitting on the hotel bed, wrapped in a blanket provided to us by the Red Cross, a hand up was birthed.
Oh wow.
And
Got goosebumps.
it was birthed that night. And I knew in my heart that now is the time.
Yeah.
You start this now. And so we did. And we just started. We would meet people at a grocery store and buy food for them and meet them in different parking lots and give them food. And long before we had any incorporation or EIN number or a business partner, we were just doing that. We were faithful to do that. And our sons, they were voluntold.
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
you will help with this. And then it became just a part of their heart and their vision. And so that's how a hand up was birthed.
How old were you guys when you started helping out? When you were voluntold?
He was 14.
Yeah, we were. I mean, been doing it. I can remember really. So I really don't even know.
I think Wesley was
remember
about
specifically.
14 then.
Did you jump in? So let's fast forward 18. Did you jump in full force? Did you go to school? How did you? Because I feel like you're 100% in. Right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like you've probably been 100%
Yeah,
in.
we've always been 100% in.
Interesting.
Always been 100% in.
So the passion comes from prayer. The passion comes from places and people that didn't necessarily support you when you needed that support. And I think that's extremely important, especially in a community, because without community, what do you have? Who are you supposed to lean on? It was during Hurricane Michael. It was interesting to see how many people came together to help each other out. And I feel like I didn't realize it went that far back. I thought it was kind of after Hurricane Michael deal, which is phenomenal. How did you guys get started with that? So if there was somebody listening or watching, like what advice would you give them if they were trying to start something, maybe not the same thing, but a faith-based charity that really genuinely just wants to help people?
Well, I will always say that you're tried by your passion. So if people see that you have a passion for it, because long before we got a business partner, long before we got a donation, my husband was working back-to-back 12-hour shifts so that we can do food drives.
Sounds like a real man.
Right. So when you have a passion for it, people will be drawn by your passion. So you believe in your own vision. Don't worry about what you don't have. Just be faithful over what you have, because I'm a firm believer that the Lord never leads where he doesn't provide. So when he gives you that vision, you start working towards the vision and he will bring the provision.
100%. Wow.
So just have passion in what you're called to do. Once you answer the call, then start just walking towards it.
I love that. You started feeding, just buying people's groceries. Now you feed over 1,000 families a month, which is amazing. When it comes to sponsorships, so how do sponsorships work with it? Because I know I spoke to you when I volunteered with you guys, which was an amazing experience. And you said, donating directly to you guys is much more beneficial than sending groceries in as an individual. Can you kind of explain how that works?
You want me to? Well,
yeah, either one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, because of our food contracts, what you may be able to go in the grocery store and purchase 2 bags of groceries or 2 bags of canned goods.
$300.
Exactly. We are able to get food for pennies on the dollar, 10 cents a pound, 19 cents a pound, 20 cents a pound. So that $100 can provide 1,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
And so that's the difference.
Interesting.
Because we can buy the food through food contracts.
Okay. And you guys take sponsorships from individuals and from big companies and pretty much anyone that is willing to walk with you, huh?
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. And we had a really big donation base prior to Hurricane Michael. It has never gotten back to that point. And then we had COVID, and then inflation. So I think a lot of people are
Three-piece combo.
Exactly.
Biscuits on the side.
A lot of people are kind of nervous, scared about different things that are going on, and so we really don't have that donation base like we have, but we've never had to close the doors.
Awesome. Yeah, the county needs you guys. When I volunteered with you guys, it was I had no idea. When I first pulled into the lot, because it's kind of a big empty lot, and then you guys do what you do in the like a pole barn pavilion type of deal, and I was like, am I at a used car lot or am I in a car lot? Like I was like, there's like 100 plus cars here. There's no way that this is the place. And then I pull up and I'm like, yep, this is the place. And as people are pulling through the the excitement from not just the people that you are providing food to the families, but also the people that are working there was awesome. Like they had energy. They were energetic the entire time. They were ready to go. They had a smile on their faces. And like, it made me feel good. I was like, I'm just lifting heavy things, which is what I do for a regular job too, I guess. But it's a different level of appreciation for not just the time that we have to spend with other people, but what we can do with that time. It's a very productive, positive way to spend it, especially here in Panama City, because I find in Panama City there's a bar every, I think, 0.5 miles on the beach in town, all the way through, I think, up to like the Mexico Beach, Tyndall Bridge, up to Southport. And I think as young men and women, we have much better things that we can do with our time. So I think dedicating yourself to a cause like you guys is a fantastic way to spend your time.
Yes.
Where do you guys find your volunteers?
Well, we have a volunteer database, and if you go to our website, ahandupintl.org, you can fill out a contact form and a volunteer form.
Interesting.
And once you fill that form out, someone will call you back, and you will also receive an email of every food event.
Awesome.
That we're going to
I need to get
do.
on that list, because
Yes.
he texted me and I was like, heck yeah, I'm there. And then like once or twice I texted him like, hey, when's the next one? And then I'm like in New York or in Louisiana. I'm like, can't miss it.
Yes.
Oh man. So is there anyone that helped you along the way or helped you guys along the way that did something for you that was memorable, or maybe it could be a lesson to somebody else that kind of wants to take a walk in a shoe that you've been in before?
Well, we have a lot of people that have helped us and blessed us. I think one of the most notable ones was former school board superintendent Bill Hutsfeld.
You were also on the school board, right?
No, I was not on the school
Okay.
board,
Okay.
but I worked in the school system.
That's what it was.
And he heard about the program when I was working at Lucille Moore, the backpack program, and he had never even met me. But he believed in it, and he grabbed Tony Bentz, Alan Bentz, I'm sorry, and they came to the school and presented me with checks
Wow.
for the program.
Wow.
And they didn't even know me, but they just believed in the vision. And I want to say, one of the ones that will always stay with me is a little man named Mr. Harold that had lost his wife and did not have much, but faithfully, every month sent that $25 donation.
Wow.
Every month sent that $25 donations. And he was, a senior citizen. He didn't have children to support him. He was on this fixed income, but he faithfully sent that $25 every month.
Wow.
And I would just send him that little note back, thanking him and telling him what that donation did. It provided 2,500 pounds of food,
Wow, that's awesome.
And so he was
What a big
250
impact.
pounds of food. I'm sorry, 250 pounds of food. And he was just so blessed by that. And he did that until he passed away.
Wow.
So that
$25 a month.
$25 a month.
And the impact that $25 a month can, I mean, the big checks are awesome, and I think they're like milestone kind of deals, but like the people that don't have much that still give is it's an amazing thing.
Yes.
I am curious, and might be a little selfish question, but how does it operate? So like you have your food contracts, and then what does it come on trucks, and then you store? Like how's that system work?
Oh,
You're on.
we have food contracts. I mean, as far as what do you mean? As far as like the distribution system?
Yeah, like how does it come in, and how does that, like, is there an inventory system? Like as a business guy, these things always intrigue me because you guys deal with high volume.
Yes,
So-
we deal with high volume. So we have food contracts. Most people are familiar with Feeding America, and then under there is Feeding Gulf Coast. Then under their umbrella, we're next under them. So we are the largest distributor in the area, and we're right on the Feeding Gulf Coast. So you have to have food contracts in place. There's a lot of things, a lot of red tape you have to go through to be USDA approved. So we have food contracts with them. So USDA gives us a lot of food monthly that we have to accept, and they give that based on volume that you can actually handle. And so we handle obviously a lot of volume, but then also outside of that, we also have special contracts to where get specific food items that you would normally get at a food distribution. Things like let's say like steaks. Like we give out a lot of steaks. We got steaks. Lamb, I mean, it's typically
because it was like whole chickens,
yeah,
like there was ice
typically-
cream. I mean, this is good stuff.
and we and no shade to anybody else that does a lot of the food drives or food giveaways, but so there is a difference between food banks and food pantries. So your food pantries will typically be smaller, like churches that will have something for a couple people to come in and get a couple of items. Ours is a food bank. So think of like a reserve, like an actual bank, right? They have the reserve, the safe in the back with all the extra money. So we have a lot to.
You have a literal food bank.
Yeah. So we're literally
and it's on
food.
pallets,
It's literally,
dude. Like,
it's a literal food
pallets.
bank. Yeah, you've seen it. It's a literal food bank. And we have. Yep. There you go. Like that. So we keep a lot of dry goods and things on hand as well. So we have to keep a lot of that stuff on hand as far as dry goods and whatnot. But we also have our special contracts to where we get those specific items that you wouldn't normally get at normal food pantries, right? Where that could be chicken, steaks, lambs, and you see where you were there where you see people sitting there for hours waiting for food because typically it's not just a box of spaghetti and a can of sauce.
No, it was like an entire like one of those. I'm a single dude. One of those cases would have me for a month.
Yeah.
And then you guys also do it based off of how many family members there are, how many families are in the home, or you can pick up for another family member. I guess if you have an elderly couple or something that's maybe a neighbor, which I think is amazing.
Right.
And so the process is, so food comes in, box truck, right?
Yep.
And then you guys,
box truck.
Yeah, go ahead.
18-wheeler.
Yeah, it comes in 18-wheeler. Wow. So we get what's it called a special, for sure what's called a special pickup. We get that once a week, and then we have the big USDA truck that brings a big truck in once a month. Right before our big distribution, that every third Saturday of the month.
That was one of my questions.
Every third Saturday of the month we do a distribution, and that's countywide.
And what's the location?
1137 J.W. Hunt Boulevard, also known as Russ Lake Drive.
And you guys do smaller deals throughout the month, right?
So we do appointment only every Friday. You have to call the number. The number is 850-257-5786. And we'll set you up an appointment to pick up food on Friday.
Okay.
So we do Friday pickups and then the one countywide distribution every third Saturday.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So over 1,000. That still blows my mind.
Yes.
Over 1,000. When I was growing up, my grandma worked 3 jobs. And it was me, her, and my sister in the house. She worked 3 jobs. She was never home, but she always found time to cook. Sometimes we didn't have food, though. Yeah. So being able to provide that level of, to me, it's like mental security kind of and emotional security to your kids, to your family. It provides a level of comfortability to not have to worry about that one thing, which is kind of crucial to eat.
Yeah.
So did you guys, when you guys started up, did you invest, was there an investment initially, or was it, we're just going to do it until it works?
There was an investment in time and money. Like I said previously, my husband worked 12-hour shifts back to back with no day off. And so he would provide the money for, because it used to be a food distribution. We had mobile distributions before we had a building. So we would get 5,000 pounds of food, 10,000 pounds of food delivered to a high poverty area. And we would distribute that food in about 2 hours. Wow. And at that time, it cost $500 to do that. So my husband paid for many of those, and our family paid for many of those before we ever had a business partner. And even since donations have been down through everything that has happened, our family, the reason that we've been able to keep the doors open is because our family pays for it. When there's no donations, when there's no business partners, our family pays for it. And so we just, when you're called to do it, He'll see you through it.
That's
so
right.
Just keep
That's it,
moving.
man. My brother always says, he says, if it's his will, it's his bill.
That's
So-
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Is there any reason in particular you feel like donations are down? Is it a marketing thing, or is it just people's uncertainty of what the future may hold, or what is you guys' opinion?
I believe it's a combination.
Yeah.
We are really great with getting the word out to the people that need us and need the food. However, we have not been so great at pushing ourselves and saying, advertising, because we're so busy doing the work
Right.
that we don't really promote ourselves. And so we're trying to get better
It's a
at
lot of
that.
work.
We're trying to get better at that, but we do spend a lot of time, serving the families. And not only do we provide appointments every Friday and a countywide distribution the third Saturday every month, but in between all of that, we have organizations that we provide food for.
Oh, wow.
That we feel that no one can do it all, but if everyone does something,
That's
no one has to
right.
go without. Well, we have churches and we have other organizations that we provide food for them to be able to serve in their demographic. And so it's always, the ball
moving.
is always rolling with the food. It doesn't stop. And so that the answer to that question is two-part, because we haven't really done a good job of promoting ourselves because we're so busy with the hands and feet of
Thousands
it.
of people,
Yes.
tens of thousands of pounds of food a month. I couldn't imagine the inventory, stocking,
Yes.
distribution,
And
volunteer
tracking
management.
the numbers. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so also the other part of that is that I really believe in talking to so many people.
Yeah.
People are a little bit nervous about the economy.
Yeah.
They're nervous about change. They don't know what's going to happen. So I think people are just trying to hold on to what they have.
Yeah. Now, is there like a monthly subscription? Can you do that like a donation style? Like if I wanted to do like 25, like your guy did 25 bucks a
Yes.
month. Is there like on the website, is there a monthly subscription thing where you can go on the website, type in, I want to do 30 bucks a month every month, and then I can cancel at my own leisure?
You can.
Interesting.
You can go onto our website and securely donate, and it will give the option of one time or monthly,
Interesting.
however you would like to do it. And then if you would like to stop that, then you just
Cancel.
send an email to stop it the month before
It's
it's
easier
to come
than
out.
it is to cancel a Netflix account.
Absolutely, or
I
a
had to send
gym,
them
Much
WhatsApp.
easier.
Yeah.
or a gym account.
They have so many hidden,
Yeah, Planet Fitness, I've been trying to cancel them for like 6 months now. I'm like, I don't go there anymore. I haven't been there. I travel too much, and I lift heavy. I drop my weights on the mat. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And then the alarm goes off. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't bring a gallon of water in. And
It took me 9 months to get that canceled at Planet
Really?
Fitness, and I wasn't even going.
Jeez, yeah, that's my problem. I spent my membership $60 in my new gym. Anyway, and what is the what's the feedback from the community? Good, bad, in between? Yeah, that's a good start.
Oh, feedback from the community as far as the organization. Oh, it's always great. I mean, we always had great. I think it's funny because a lot of people, we still get a lot of feedback to say, "Oh, we didn't know you did this."
Yeah,
and,
I had no idea.
And i.e. to what my mom was saying, we're trying to get that word out as to what we do, and we've been around. This is our 14th year.
Wow.
And so a lot of people, even a lot of big business wigs, things like that, they're just like, "Oh, we didn't know this even existed," because we do a great job of getting to our clients, but just trying to get the word out to those who can actually help us facilitate our vision is what we're trying to work on now. But so many people, when they find out, just like, "Oh, we didn't know that was a thing. We didn't know this was, you guys did this and did that." And most people don't even realize, but we actually, a lot of the bigger organizations that you've heard of around town, we actually help with them, Rescue Mission, Gulf Coast Children Advocacy Center.
Wow.
Right. So a lot of these places that the names of, behind the scenes, we've done a lot of things food wise to help facilitate what they do as well. So, so we have our footprint is there.
Yeah.
This, it's,
Well, welcome to
It's
hopefully
back
the
there
850
somewhere, but
podcast.
yeah, hopefully
Bump that
850
thing up.
but yeah, the community is always great, especially when they find out about it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Is there any? Have you guys ever got negative feedback? I mean, we all have. I think.
Oh, of
with
course,
business.
man. Of
How
course.
do you handle and manage that?
We just listen. It's
moving.
1 out of 20. It's 1 out of 20, man. Because it's just like as you in business yourself, you're going to get that one that you just can't. And there's some that are just going to complain no matter what. You know.
You guys are dealing with hundreds,
And we're
thousands
dealing
of
with,
people.
because also, man, sometimes you got to realize sometimes you're dealing with not just people, but you're also dealing with, a mindset sometimes because not everybody is thankful, grateful.
Yes.
I mean, we have people that have come in and, you can tell they've gone to maybe 2 other distributions the same day have gotten, like a truck full of stuff,
That's
and
gotta
they
be
come
all
back and they're still, but it is what it is, but just as that one will come in and maybe complain. And it's not often, but we get so many people that come through the line that say, man, we don't know how we're going to keep the lights on. We don't know how we're going to pay for food. We were they were debating whether they're going to pay the light bill or pay for groceries this month.
Been there.
And we get that a lot, man. We get that a lot. And it's every time they come in, they say thank you. And it doesn't matter. They could be out there for hours. Like it could be, we distribute from 7 to 11.
I was gonna say we were out there the entire time. Like I got there and it was right before the car started, and we didn't stop moving the entire time.
Volunteers typically get there at 7, but people will start lining up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and they'll be there. I mean, so it'll be 10:30. They may have been out there for a few hours, and they have a smile on their face, most of them, and they'll say, "Hey, thank you for what you do.
Right.
Thank you for helping us. You guys are awesome." And that moment is what makes what we do worth it. And so we don't worry about the negative.
moving.
We just keep going, man.
Good.
A lot of times we just brush it off, and as long as my family's safe and we're out there, we don't have any problems.
Right. I remember there was the fish sticks. There was a guy, because we had a bunch of fish stick boxes left over, and they're like, just put the fish, like, ask him if they want it.
Oh, the whole box.
And I asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, give me a box. And I put it in his truck, and he's like, I didn't tell you to put that in here. And I was like, all right, I'll take it out. He's like, is that fish sticks? Yeah, I want that. Like,
Oh yeah, he won. Well, yeah.
So if you don't mind, we'll segue a little bit into the book. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the book, please.
Okay, well, it's true stories of faith, healing, and miracles, and it's true stories from my life. For instance, one of the stories in the book is called Lord, Send Me an Angel, and it's actually about this guy here.
Oh, snap.
And he was 16 and got critically ill.
Oh, no.
And had the onset of diabetes, and there was acid in his stomach, and we didn't know all that. And my husband took him by to get food on the way to the emergency room, which I had taken him. He would have never got that food.
What did he get?
And he would not be here today because the
my
doctor
goodness.
said him getting that food in his stomach saved his life.
Wow.
And so
God's-
yes, and it was amazing. And so, and upon leaving the hospital that night, I was so upset because they would not let me stay because he was in ICU. And I just had a really hard time leaving him. And I was in the driveway, and this is in the book, of the hospital, leaving the hospital. And I asked the Lord to send me an angel to protect him. And all of a sudden, I can see in the hospital room, and there's an angel guarding his room.
Wow.
That's absolutely God is my witness, true story.
I love it.
And that's in the book.
Wow.
And so all the stories are true stories of faith, healing, and miracles, things that I witnessed people being healed for that I was a part of, things that he healed my body from when I was a part of. And also, this is in the second book, but I recently got healed of cancer last year.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as a matter of
Goosebumps
fact,
again.
yes, on Tuesday, I went to my doctor for my year follow-up, and you're good, you're clear, it's all gone, you're healed. And so
That's part 2.
that's
right.
part
You're writing
two.
a new book.
That's my
Book
next
2.
book that will be out by the end of the year, and it's called The Odyssey of Healing, the Mind, the Spirit, and the Body. And so that story's in that book, but all the stories in the book, they are true stories of how I made it with the help of the good Lord out of an abusive marriage. My kids and I living in a mobile home with 2x4s in the floor to keep us from falling through, and just so many things that he walked us through.
Now, can I ask you a quick question? You said got you out of an abusive relationship. There's a lot of people, men and women, trapped in abusive situations. If there was something that you could share to help push someone in the right direction that's in that situation, what would you share?
You deserve to live. You deserve the goodness of God in the land of the living. And if you are in a situation that your life is being threatened and your children's life are in danger, you deserve to get out. There are people that can help you, but just know that's the first step, is knowing that you don't deserve the abuse.
So it starts internally.
It starts internally because you may not have anyone to cheer you on, but if you know that you deserve to live, you know that your children deserve a better life, because you may not have seen it. I never seen a marriage in good order, in good relationship, but I knew that it existed. And I knew that if I did not get out of that, I was going to produce 3 more men that were going to be exactly like him.
Wow.
And I could not in good conscience do that to another woman's daughter.
Yeah.
And so I prayed.
You were
and I
looking
said,
towards the future. Wow.
yes, I said, I know you can help me. I know you can help me. You know, my mom was a single mom of 8 because my dad was an alcoholic, and he was never physically abusive, but he was verbally and emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
And I said, God, if you did it for my mom with 8, you can do it for me with 3.
You're a generational curse breaker, chain breaker.
It stops with me.
Yeah.
My children would not.
Look at this guy.
Would not
Come
have
on.
to face this.
I want to clap it up, but it's like, if I,
But, and that's what I said. It stops here.
Wow.
And I spoke over my sons, and I said, and I spoke over their lives, and that you are good men. You will have a wife, and you will be the husband of one wife, and you will love your children, and you will be a good father to your children. You will do all the things that you have not seen.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah.
And they do. So if you're out there and you're struggling and you're in an abusive relationship, there are people here to help you.
Do you have any recommended resources, or do you know any just off the top of your head that if someone was in a situation?
The Salvation Army Domestic Violence Program was a life sent to me. My sons and I were there for 3 months.
Wow.
Because my ex-husband came through the back door with a knife to kill me.
Jeez.
And they took us in for 3 months.
Wow.
And it was such a blessing, and it gave me that strength and that time that I needed to find a job. And there were people in that program that also encouraged me with what I knew that I could get on the other side of that.
Wow.
And those programs still exist today, and there are church groups and people that will walk with you through it. You do not have to suffer alone, and you do not have to die in it.
What's after that? When you overcome, just to paint a picture of, what could be, what is after. You clear your mind, you're ready for the next step in life. What is the glory on the other side of that?
Well, for me, it was for the first time in years since I was a kid, I celebrated my birthdays.
Yes.
Because there were so many times in that I didn't want to live. I didn't know if I was going to live.
Yeah.
And so I celebrated my birthdays, just finding those small steps, taking some days it'll be small steps and some days it'll be big leaps, but you just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You keep moving forward and find something every day to be thankful for. And as you go to the next day, you'll add to that list.
It's funny you say that. In the Old Testament, it says, check your staff. And what they used to do is when they had victories, they would mark their staffs. And I tell my friends and associates that aren't doing so well and maybe made the wrong decisions over time, check your staff, dude. Like,
That's
you
good.
made your bed this morning, right? Okay, that's a win for the day. If
That's
you
good.
beat the sun up, that's a win for the day. If you got out of bed, that's a win for today. And it just kind of compounds on itself until there's victory every single day.
Absolutely.
And then it makes your losses not so hard because you know you have victory somewhere in there.
Yes.
So the purpose behind the book was really to just share some amazing, amazing things. Wesley, let's talk
Yes,
about
sir.
real estate.
What you got?
How is it in Bay County right now? What does the real estate market look like? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell?
Man, there's a saying that says 5 years ago was always the best time to buy.
That's right.
That's true. I mean, I found it to be true. Just being in real estate, this will be my 7th year. in it, and we all know real estate investing is probably one of the most safest things that you can sort of invest in.
So when you say real estate investing, do you mean investing in properties and to?
Well, I say it outside of investing to flip. I say just home buying in general, and I like to focus a lot on first time home buyers. I deal with investors and things like that as well, but I got into it specifically for first time home buyers and people who were who maybe thought it was never an option to buy, right? And I deal with a lot of people, because really real estate is sort of parallel with me to what I do with a hand up, because I see a lot of people that come through the line that they don't have a lot of hope typically, right? They're in the line right now for food, but if somebody can plant a seed of hope where, okay, we can get past this and then maybe you can buy a house in one day, and they're like, oh, we never thought that was even doable, is that an option for us? Of course, everything's always an option. It's just, what are we going to do now and today to better your future for next year and the year after that? Because and God, God's will be done, if it's his will, in 3 or 4 or 5 years, 10 years, you'll still be alive. And where are you going to be at that point in your life? What things could we do today, obviously, to help us transcend our future, what I mean? For not just for us, but also for generations. And so a lot of clients that I deal with, I mean, sometimes it is a long-term game. Yeah. Because we get into talking about first home buying as a first-time home buyer, but then I start teaching them how that works as far as in real estate investing goes, right? Because you're going to pay to live somewhere. That's why I tell all my clients, you're going to pay to live somewhere, right? And
you can have somewhere pay to live.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to pay to live somewhere. So why not be taking that step and, increasing your future, investing into it, because that's really what it is. When you buy a home, even if it's just for you to use as a homestead, right, you are investing into your future, whether you don't see it right now. So most people, honestly, the mindset is when they do buy their first home, it's because a lot of people are, I'm tired of paying rent, So it's just, it's one step, it's one little mark right on their staff, like, this is victory. But then I'm like, okay, hey, we bought your home, great. Now what are we going to do for the next 5 years?
Let's get a quiet
10 years, let's get a quiet place. Let's take this home equity that we've been in this house for 5 years and do this with it and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I didn't know that was a thing, So a lot of times it's just a lack of information and knowledge of as far as what it can be done. So, and there's a lot of negative connotation when you deal with a certain class of people, right, that they don't know about home. There's a lot of negativity with it first. So there's a lot of fallacies that have to be broken first. Right. And then we get in. I mean, there's clients that, they've got a 400, I mean, like, they're just like, dude, we can't buy a home, and then I was like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's start credit repair. I mean, and so before we even get into.
So you guys do, not to interrupt you, but you do full top to bottom with some of these clients. You do credit repair, moving up to financing, moving through the buying process, land acquisition, whatever needs to happen. So you do the full deal. I didn't know that.
I do the full. So not everybody. So real estate, as being a realtor, we're our own business, right? Okay. So every realtor has what they will and will not do, right? And things that, certain clients that they'll deal with, certain ones. And I've had real estate agents tell me, hey, if it ain't 350 or above, I'm not dealing with the client. And I
have a lot of friends like that, unfortunately, and I love them to death, but I'm like,
and that, and for me, I'm like, I don't even get offended by them. I'm just like, hey, if you're not going to deal with them, send them to me. You know what I mean? Because I love helping people. A lot of my consultations with first time home buyers, I mean, it could seem like if they were in front of another realtor, that realtor be like, man, they're like forever away from buying a house, right? I don't have time for that right now. And it can be time consuming, to be honest with you, but you have those people that believe in you. Like I had one client, and they actually bought a house last year. But a realtor told them, hey, your money is too small for me, basically. So cause they were on a home tour with their parents who were buying a house. And then so they inquired about, can you help us? And then blah, blah, blah. And so he went over some basic financial things. And he said, what we're looking at, you're going to be approved for like 150. You basically told them, hey, your money's too small for me. And that's what they said. I said, wow. So
that's not demoralizing at all.
It's not, dude. It's not at all, man. And I said, that's sad. And realistically, and I will be straightforward with everybody. I'm like, hey, 150, that is a small number. I'm not going to lie. But it's doable, right? Yeah. The right thing comes along, and then also connections play a big part in it. I had a client, a realtor friend of mine, and he knows my heart, and this is where connections make a big deal. He knows my heart and my clientele who I like to help, and he called me and said, hey, Wes, I got this mobile home, blah, 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 brand new, and I can sell it for this amount, but I know your clientele, who you work with, and because of you, I want to help somebody.
Awesome.
So he said, I'll sell it at this amount, XYZ. So I had a single mother that had a son. And so we had been looking for like a little under a year and couldn't really find anything and say, hey, here's this house. I think it's perfect for you, blah, blah, blah. Right. So we did an off market deal, sold it to her. And she bought this house. Matter of fact, no, this was the year before last year, I think 2 years ago. And so anyway, connections, bought this house, well under market value. And he sold it to me because he knew my heart and knew my connection. Funny story is, what's even funnier, one of my aunts passed away. That's not funny. But
I'm like, where are we going here?
Well, yeah. But so we went to the funeral, and so when we got done, I read one of the scriptures at the funeral. And so anyway, after the funeral, that client comes up to me. She's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "That's my aunt." Yeah, and she was like, "This is my grandmother." I said, "That's my aunt." So she was actually a cousin. Yeah.
Look at,
well, we have so many. We have a large family, but I was like, so she was actually a cousin. I was like, that's crazy. That's wild to me. And so anyway, but things like that is what makes it great, because she wanted to buy a home, but the price point was super thin. But from beginning to end, I help. So I'll take an hour-long consultation and say, hey, let's look at finance, let's look at credit, let's look at, because also financial literacy is one of those things that is lacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't teach us that in high school.
Yeah, they don't teach it all.
Teach me how to
man.
make eggs in high school.
Dude, I had a consultation with a 28-year-old last year, and she didn't even have a checking account.
Wow. I have a bunch of guys that work for me right now that they use Cash App or Zelle as their account. I'm like, why would you try to deposit a check on Cash App?
Yeah.
Guys? Like, let me just make you like a Chime account where it's like a digital account, but it's actually a bank account.
Right.
The level of financial illiteracy, I mean, I don't know about everywhere else. I live in Bay County now. I'm from Louisiana. Both places is super, super low, and I'm not a financial genius at all. Like, I have people that I consult for stuff, and I gain knowledge on it, but oh, man, I wish...
But the basics, though. Basics.
Yeah,
is
just
lacking.
having an account.
Right.
Dividends.
Right. Yeah.
Credit.
So we go over all that, that basic stuff between savings, checkings, budgeting, planning.
Yeah.
And so And so I check in. I don't babysit all of my clients. I check in with them, but obviously I don't have time to babysit to make sure, hey, you're gonna do this, and do this. And now there are a couple that I'll check in. Hey, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Mm-hmm. And but typically it's I'm not gonna make you want. Yeah.
I don't know any other real estate agent in Bay County. I've never heard of any other real estate agent, period, going over and beyond. I know they're out there, but it's like few and far between.
They're very few and far between. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about tooting my own, but I'm just saying because I'm in the game. And because think about it, man, we talk about generationals, right? My mom just got done talking about breaking a generational cycle, right? And if we want to get into the nitty gritty of it, real estate is one of those things where, you're always going to have to pay to live somewhere, right? So I have a lot of parents that say, hey, if not for you, let's do it for your kids, right? Let's get you on the path, secure your home, and then we can do X, Y, Z later on down the road. Because now what happens is, not only are we doing that, but as a realtor, I'm securing myself and my future because, right, these kids grow up in the next 5, 10, 15 years, right? The mom say, hey, this guy did this for me. Blah. Now you get to buy a home. Now you get to buy. Everybody gets to buy a home, right?
So, you get a home. You get a home.
And so it sets them up for, and then I even teach them. I had one lady say, hey, you can put your 16-year-old on your credit card. She's like, well, we can do that. Blah. Yep. 16-year-old, he turned 19. No, he turned 20. And he had a credit score already over 700, and so it's one of those things where, now we're looking at getting him a home.
Yep.
Because
they set him up.
Because they set him up, and I had been telling him, hey, make sure you have a job for 2 years, blah, blah, blah. So there's things that they didn't know, right? And, that was an hour and a half long consultation, but the mom bought a house. The son is now in the process of getting pre-approved to buy a house. Awesome. So sometimes it is a long-term game, but in real estate, they teach us, about the long-term, because we're trying to secure not only futures of our clients, but also our future business, as well.
What you're doing is generationally blessing families, which, I'm a church guy. I go to church. I'm a Jesus guy. I read my Bible every day, and I think that
That's a T-shirt, man. I'm a Jesus guy.
Yes. I had somebody call me a Jesus freak the other day, and I'm like, okay, because I was praying. I was at Walmart, and I was just looked like he was having a bad day, and I'm like, dude, can I pray for you real quick, bro? And it's like, you got to do those things that make you uncomfortable, and like I'm still very much, I'd say I'm a toddler in my faith because I'm just starting. I've got baptized a year ago, just started kind of walking it out for real, and I'm praying for a guy I go to check out and somebody's like, "You're a Jesus freak," and I'm like, "Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that." But yeah, it really does sound like you're generationally blessing families with knowledge, and also with the willingness to take the time to share that with them, and they'll continue to use the blessing that you gave them to bless each and every family member, and also other people down the road, which is awesome. So the podcast is based in politics. That was like with Ron and Mr. K. Dot back here. That's where they started the 850 podcast. We're branching out into different things a little bit. I just want to ask you guys a question. Have you guys heard about the Lynn Haven fun stuff, messy stuff that's going on?
I've heard about it on the news and heard a few things.
Would you guys care to share your opinion on it as locals doing stuff, amazing people in the community, faith-based, real estate, writing book, like all the amazing things that you guys are doing? Do y'all have an opinion on it?
I just like to caution people. I've been in a place where I was falsely accused of something. So hold judgment. Hear the facts and judge it for yourself and hold judgment, because everyone deserves a chance. And a lot of times in our society, is guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
So withhold judgment and don't judge anyone else more harshly than you would judge yourself. And that's my take on it.
I like it. I agree with that 100%.
Yes.
Mr. Best?
That's my take, man.
I like it.
The biggest thing, man, too, is just like the facts, man.
Yes.
I mean, there's just, as we know, social media is, I think we were talking earlier, or we speaking before we started the podcast, where it's social media is great, but then it's also, it can be just as bad as it is good. And that's with anything. There's pros and cons to everything. Yeah. But facts is one of those things where a lot of people don't do fact checks. They go based off of what he said, she said.
Well, that's
opinion
what's
of my friends,
on.
and that's literally what's going on. So it's like, man, if you,
But it's not just he said, she said. It's from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I can't remember what I ate for lunch last week. You want me to remember a conversation from 4 years ago?
Right.
That's just my take.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. Do you guys have anything else that you want to share that you have upcoming? Where can we find your book? Let's do that.
Yes. All platforms, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, TBN, Trilogy was my publisher, so you can also get it on their site. We have some other amazing things coming out, some things launching with the social media, doing a lot of giveaways and different things. So also get the book, read the book, do a review for us.
That's right. Yes, please do a review.
Yes.
And as far as all charity.
A hand up. Visit our website.
So say all hands up. A hand up.
Yes.
All hands up. We could do that. All hands up.
A hand up. intl.org, and you can get a wide insight of what we do and who we are, and sign up to be a volunteer. We can always use great volunteers to come out and help us serve the people. And if you're in need, we don't give a hand out, we give a hand up.
Oh,
so come and let us bless you.
I like that. Mr.
Also
Best?
check also check our Facebook page too. We have a lot of content on there. We're working on putting more content, being more consistent with that. But there is plenty of content on there. Well, if you want to see sort of how it works, and yeah, it's great. I do. So I typically always like to debunk any fallacies or any false pretense anybody may have about the clientele that we have. Just because we're trying to get our word out, right, to get more sponsors.
Right.
And I only say this because I've encountered this with a couple of people. As a matter of fact, so I'm telling somebody that I have said, hey, I got to go we got a food drive coming up, blah, blah, blah. And I got to go, I got to get ready for that, And so this guy, he, pretty well to do, and he's up there in the community, sort of. And so he said, okay, man. He said, well, yeah. He said, I'm going to let you handle that. He said, because, I'd get out there and tell people to get a job, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so, man, it always stuck with me, and I'll segue in real quick. So, I mean, real estate to a hand up, I see all sides of the economy, and all sides of the social statuses, right? From low class to middle class to upper class, right? And so, I don't down anybody that wants to or who doesn't have the time, right? Because as businessmen, right? Because there's a different mindset.
I have 9 businesses. I got time.
Yeah,
so
but see, that's different, right? So not everybody's in that mindset that you are, right? So between lower class to upper class, right? The mindset is different. We all know that, right? So typically your upper class, is like, well, my time is better suited, doing this elsewhere, making more money, right?
Yeah.
So that type of people typically would rather write a check.
Right.
And we love that. Matter of fact, if you're that type of person, you love because reality, right? We have the philanthropist people that love what we do, and I'm encountering that more and more. They love what we do, but they just don't have the time, right? And that is totally fine. We're not asking you to come out in low boxes in 90-degree weather because it takes a certain mindset to do that. You probably don't have time.
96 on Saturday.
96 on Saturday, and it can be rough, but they don't mind writing a check to it, writing a check for it. So, but to those where they had that mindset where like the clientele that we serve are bums, that is totally false. We have, like we said earlier, we had Hurricane Michael, then we had COVID, then we had inflation, right? We have
first
people
of all, you have to pull up in a car.
Yeah.
So
we have all people from even middle class now is somewhat considered the lower class, right? So
the most amazing for me, it was awesome doing it, but it was also amazing seeing all the different groups of people together. Like I'm from New Orleans, and you have this type of person, that type of person, other type, and when everybody's together all the time. And I always say New Orleans is like a good cup of gumbo. We got the best ingredients from everywhere, and it was kind of that same deal with you guys where it was everybody, which is how community should be. I think I mentioned it to you. I'm like, this is how grocery shopping should be. Like we should all come together and like. This is how it should be. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. No, you're good, man. And so I was just saying, we serve. I mean, these people are out here working 2-3 jobs. They're not just sitting at home collecting a government check. Yep. Some of them probably are, but most of them are not. I'd
some
say
of the people that said that would probably also collect some check too.
Yeah. I'd say a big percentage of them. I'd probably say 90% of them are working 2-3 jobs. To make ends meet. Just even with inflation. It's so they're not bums. They're people who
single parents.
You think about it, to get in line and sit for hours, you have to really need it, because they get there at 6 o'clock. You're not sitting there in line.
Sometimes 5. Yeah,
sometimes 5. And we don't start distributing until 9. Wow. So they're there for 4 or 5 hours.
That's
just
not
waiting.
A want. That's a need.
Yeah, that is definitely a need. What I mean? So it's not out of they're just bums just sitting around. It's out of a really a need, and they're doing what they can to make it.
And we have conversations with lots of these people, and they've had to combine homes. Mm-hmm. You have 2 or 3 families living together just to make it. You have people working 2 and 3 jobs, and the majority of the people are in that line. They are hardworking people, and they just need what I needed when I stood in a line to get food for my 3 boys. They just need a hand up.
Yep.
They just need a hand up, and so that's what we're here to do. So, we treat them with respect and with dignity. I wasn't always treated that way when I was in line to get food and toys for my kids, but I make sure anyone that volunteers with me, they can tell you that is a pet peeve of mine. If you cannot, because listen, we're providing food, but that's just the minimum of what the people in line need.
Yep.
We're just meeting the need. So you don't know what their life is like. And so if you can't smile and show them professionalism and courtesy, then don't come.
Yeah. I think that applies. So I get messed with my friends a lot because I give compliments out like crazy when I'm out. Like if the gas station attendant, I'm like, you look great today. Your smile looks great. Yeah. I just try to give those compliments out. My daughter, she's started doing it as well. And it's, like you said, you don't know what people are going through at all. And that compliment can change someone's entire week.
Yeah.
I lost my nephew about 2 weeks ago, a young guy. And I was just, we grew up together, should have been doing the whole business. We should take the world over together. And I was just in a not great place. And I had to force myself to go out. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go get sushi at Publix. I go to Publix, and this guy's like, dude, your shoulders look great, bro. Like, he's a gym dude, and I'm like, thanks. You know what I mean? And I just needed that one compliment to push me through the heartache that I was going through. So I think that's an extremely powerful thing. Yes. And thank you guys so much for what both of you guys do in the community, not just the charity, not just real estate, but sharing your stories as well and coming here and sharing your stories with us today.
Thank you for having us, man. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes. From the 850 podcast to Bay County, we're out.